If you've been scrolling through social media lately, you probably noticed something strange. Darcey and Stacey are gone. Not just quiet, they've vanished. No new spin-off announcements, no flashy promo posts, nothing. It's like TLC hit delete and the twins never existed. Accounts that were once flooded with selfies, designer outfits, and over-the-top travel snaps are now eerily silent. Fans are left staring at empty feeds, wondering if something serious is happening behind the scenes. The silence isn't subtle. It's alarming. For years, Darcey and Stacey built themselves as the queens of drama, flaunting penthouses in Miami, Land Rovers, luxury shopping sprees, and constant cosmetic upgrades. But now, suddenly, none of that matters. Even the network seems to be pretending it never happened. There are whispers that this isn't a hiatus or a typical break between seasons. This is a hard stop, a full-scale erasure. Publicly, TLC says nothing. Privately, sources hint at a storm brewing that might go far beyond reality TV ratings. It's hard not to notice the timing. Their disappearance comes amid rumors of serious financial scrutiny, legal trouble, and international whispers that fans could hardly have imagined. Twins' wealth, which once seemed untouchable, is suddenly under a cloud. Questions are piling up faster than anyone can answer. Where did all their money really come from? How could two sisters seemingly turn a small clothing line into a multi-million-dollar empire? And most importantly, why is the network keeping all of this hidden? Fans are left to fill in the blanks themselves. Every Instagram story that doesn't appear, every planned promo that vanishes, every vague statement about staying positive becomes fuel for speculation. Something happened behind closed doors, and everyone is being asked to pretend the silence is normal. The usual glamour, the glitter, the fame, it suddenly feels like it could be a mask. What if all those luxury cars, designer outfits, and endless cosmetic procedures weren't just lifestyle choices, but a way to cover something far more serious? Could it be that the sparkle we loved is hiding shadows we never imagined? When you scroll through Darcey and Stacey's old posts, it's easy to get distracted by the sparkle. Miami penthouses, rows of Land Rovers, designer handbags stacked like trophies, and cosmetic transformations that never seem to end. Every photo, every clip, every shopping spree screamed success. Twins had mastered the art of appearing untouchable, living a life most of us only see in magazines. But the bigger question is simple: how does all of this add up? House of 11, their so-called fashion empire, was supposed to be the cash machine funding this lifestyle. Every interview, every social media post made it sound like they were on the path to global domination. But if you look closer, inconsistencies start to appear. When was the last time you actually saw someone wearing House of 11 outside of their curated posts? Tours never carried it, sales reports never surfaced, and yet their spending never slowed. Something doesn't match. And it's not just the clothes. The constant surgeries, the trips abroad, the luxury cars, these all cost more than a small business could realistically fund. It's one thing to invest in an image, but when the bills outpace the supposed income, it begs a question. Is the empire they show us just smoke and mirrors? Or is there a hidden story beneath the designer shoes and snatched waists? Fans have long speculated about how they maintain this level of luxury. Social media makes it look effortless, but anyone familiar with business knows that appearances alone don't generate millions. Mini cliffhangers pop up everywhere: expensive vacations without sponsorships, brand partnerships that don't seem to exist, and promotional posts that don't lead anywhere. All these little cracks make you wonder if what we see is only part of the story. And yet, the twins are experts at keeping the narrative tight. They have answers ready for every question, charm for every skeptic, and a filter for every scandal. But even the best spin can't hide the gaps forever. There's a possibility, some insiders suggest, that the money flowing into their lives isn't coming directly from House of 11 sales at all. What if it's being moved, redirected, or coming from sources the public will never see? Could it be that everything we've admired, the cars, the penthouses, the designer wardrobe, is just the visible tip of a financial iceberg? And if so, what lies beneath that no one has noticed yet? House of 11 was supposed to be the crown jewel of Darcey and Stacey's empire. Everywhere you looked, there were claims of expansion, global recognition, and booming sales. On paper, it sounded unstoppable. But the reality tells a different story. Stores never stocked the clothing, the fashion events rarely happened, and online buzz often faded as quickly as it appeared. For fans, the brand was an aspirational dream. For anyone paying attention, it was starting to feel like a carefully curated illusion. Behind the glossy Instagram posts and flashy product launches, rumors began to surface about a much more complex operation. Some insiders suggest that House of 11 wasn't just a clothing line, it was the front for something bigger. Allegedly, shell companies were registered in countries like Malta, creating a layer of corporate separation that no casual observer could track. Investors, drawn in by the twins' fame, were promised European expansion, massive profits, and an empire on the rise. But those storefronts never opened, the European deals never materialized, and the promised growth remained a vision, not a reality. Pattern is consistent. Every hype-filled announcement seemed designed to impress and entice rather than deliver tangible results. Pop-up collections, limited edition releases, and influencer promotions gave the appearance of a thriving business. Yet every promise was paired with a delay, a quiet cancellation, or an untraceable transaction. To the outside world, everything looked glamorous and legitimate. Behind the curtain, however, there were cracks that suggested the real story was being hidden in plain sight. And then there's the Turkey connection. Frequent trips abroad were often framed as cosmetic or lifestyle choices, but when you map the timing alongside financial activity, a pattern emerges. Large sums of money were allegedly moving through international channels around the same time the twins were traveling for surgeries, events, and promotions. It raises the question, could these trips have served a dual purpose, keeping funds in motion while maintaining the public image of luxury and self-improvement? Fans have long debated whether the twins were savvy businesswomen, ambitious reality stars, or something in between. When you look at the gap between what was promised and what was delivered, it's hard not to wonder if House of 11 was designed more to impress investors than to produce clothing. The glitz, the launches, the international branding, it all worked beautifully as a narrative, even if the business underneath was never fully real. Could it be that the money fueling the penthouses, surgeries, and luxury cars was moving under the guise of business growth? And if so, how much of the empire we saw was actually real and how much was carefully staged illusion? Over the years, Darcey and Stacey's trips to Turkey became almost as famous as the twins themselves. Every episode, every Instagram story showcased the glamour, luxury hotels, exclusive clinics, and flawless cosmetic results. Fans joked about the plastic adventures, but these trips weren't just about appearances. When you look closer, a curious pattern emerges. Timing of these visits often coincides with large sums of money allegedly moving through overseas accounts, creating a scenario that has insiders whispering about more than just surgeries. It's been suggested that the twins may have, unknowingly, acted as money mules. They traveled, wired large amounts for cosmetic procedures, and posted gleaming selfies while the financial side of things remained hidden from the public eye. These trips offered a perfect cover, a socially acceptable reason for moving funds internationally. Every new nose job, lip filler, or jaw adjustment provided a plausible explanation for transfers, expenses, and even private business dealings. It's hard to prove, but the theory is compelling enough that it keeps investigators, fans, and even former collaborators talking. What's more interesting is what this behavior tells us about the twins themselves. There's ambition, certainly, but also a deep obsession with image. Every procedure, every outfit, every perfectly timed photo contributed to a larger-than-life persona. But ambition and vanity come with risks. The higher the profile, the more visible the patterns become. And while fame can shield you temporarily, it doesn't erase scrutiny. Obsessing over image while navigating complex financial or legal waters is a delicate balance, and sometimes the house of cards starts to wobble. Behaviorally, there's a pattern worth noting. Twins consistently made decisions that reinforced the appearance of success, even if the underlying reality was shaky. Every trip to Turkey, every cosmetic tweak was a statement. Look at us, we're thriving, we're untouchable. But beneath that confidence, there are cracks. Repeated international travel, large undisclosed payments, and reliance on public perception over tangible business success all suggest that keeping up appearances may have taken priority over solid planning or caution. The question this raises for fans and observers is hard to ignore. Could it be that the glamorous surgeries, the constant travel, and the seemingly effortless luxury were hiding something much darker? Was the image of perfection simply a way to cloak financial movement, legal exposure, or pressures we can't see from our screens? The very things that seem to celebrate transformation might have been masking high-stakes risk, a shadow economy operating in plain sight. If every trip and every procedure was carefully timed and executed, what does that say about the life they've built for themselves and the unseen pressures pulling the strings behind the scenes? Mike Silva has always been a central figure in Darcey and Stacey's lives, both on screen and off. To fans, he's the devoted father, the man who funds dreams and cushions falls. But behind the cameras, there's another layer. Mike isn't just dad. He's a businessman, an investor, and someone intimately involved in the financial side of his daughter's empire. Supporting reality TV stars is expensive, and the pressures of maintaining appearances, funding ventures, and managing public perception can create tension that runs deeper than viewers realize. Family dynamics, under this kind of pressure, are rarely simple. Secrecy becomes a tool. Certain details about finances, trips, and business dealings may be hidden even from close family members to protect image or avoid legal exposure. While this may seem protective, it often creates distance, mistrust, and frustration. Arguments that appear small on camera can actually be the surface of larger, unspoken concerns about money, reputation, and responsibility. Twins' relationships with each other and with Mike show signs of strain when the stakes get high. The emotional toll is equally significant. Imagine navigating international scrutiny while keeping a public persona intact, while privately questioning every decision, every investment, and every move. Pressure to maintain perfection can fracture trust and push family members into difficult moral dilemmas. Should Mike intervene or let the twins handle consequences on their own? Do the sisters prioritize ambition over transparency? Fans see drama and confrontation on reality TV, but the real emotional burden, the guilt, the worry, the constant calculations, remains largely invisible. Every decision, every silence, every financial or legal misstep has repercussions. Patterns are subtle but telling. When ambition, image, and business intersect, even a close-knit family can experience fractures. And while the public sees smiles, luxury, and confidence, the private reality may include sleepless nights, whispered debates, and an unspoken question hanging over every choice. How far can ambition go before it starts to tear the family apart? How far does ambition stretch before it fractures family ties? And is there a breaking point that even love and loyalty can't protect against? Fans have always loved Darcey and Stacey for their larger-than-life personalities. Every dramatic confrontation, every heartfelt confession, every glamorous outfit pulled audiences in. On screen, they're confident, unstoppable, and endlessly captivating. Social media amplified that persona, with posts showing luxury trips, designer outfits, and carefully staged moments of perfection. To many, the twins seemed untouchable, living a life most of us could only dream about. But the private reality tells a different story. Behind the cameras, decisions are often calculated, risks are higher than fans realize, and appearances can be deceiving. Every carefully timed post, every image of effortless perfection is part of a curated narrative. Reality TV thrives on spectacle, and the twins have mastered the art of using public attention to reinforce the illusion of constant success. Yet, the more polished the exterior, the more important it becomes to hide cracks beneath the surface. Psychologically, audiences are drawn to this type of persona for a reason. We love aspirational drama, conflict, and the thrill of watching someone live a life outside our own. Glamour blinds us to danger because it creates a filter. Expensive cars, flawless procedures, and penthouse apartments distract from inconsistencies, questionable decisions, or potential legal exposure. When everything looks perfect, we subconsciously assume the foundation is strong, even if it isn't. Examples are easy to spot if you look closely. On air, Darcey and Stacey's constant reinventions of themselves suggest both ambition and an obsessive need to maintain fan approval. Social media shows moments of vulnerability followed by lavish displays of wealth, reinforcing the perception that every problem can be solved with money, appearance, or clever PR. Verified statements from insiders hint at financial and legal pressures that the audience never sees, creating a gap between public perception and private reality. Fans cheer for transformation, success, and drama, but those cheering moments can also hide warning signs. The same trips, investments, and cosmetic procedures that create engagement also create a complex web of obligations and risk. Careful orchestration that makes the twins so compelling also leaves them exposed if scrutiny intensifies or if even one part of the system falters. It's a reminder that the image we've admired for years is meticulously curated, and even the most flawless facade eventually shows cracks. Could the very perfection we celebrate be a mask for the pressures and problems building beneath the surface? Rumors have been swirling for months, but recently they've taken on a much more serious tone. Allegedly, Darcey and Stacey are under the scrutiny of a $20 million international investigation. This isn't your typical celebrity gossip, it's federal-level attention. Sources suggest that the inquiry involves business practices tied to House of 11, international financial transactions, and possible offshore accounts. While nothing has been confirmed in court, the level of attention hints at stakes far beyond reality TV drama. Federal investigations move slowly, but they leave traces. Patterns of large, unexplained transfers, international travel coinciding with business deals, and the complexity of shell companies have allegedly drawn attention from authorities. The twins' fame may have provided some insulation, but notoriety can't erase scrutiny. When millions are potentially involved, regulators look closely, and the consequences could touch everything from personal finances to business licenses. It's not just the money under the microscope. Careers built on public perception are fragile. Even the hint of federal interest can create ripples in partnerships, sponsorships, and audience trust. Networks may hesitate to invest in future projects, while collaborators reconsider alliances. Social media, once a platform for self-expression and engagement, can become a minefield where every post is analyzed for implication or intent. Twins' day-to-day lives, long punctuated by glamour and drama, could suddenly be defined by subpoenas, audits, and cautious strategy meetings. Behaviorally, the situation also reveals a pattern. High visibility combined with high stakes amplifies risk. Choices that once seemed harmless or even clever may now expose vulnerabilities. Ambition, fame, and the pursuit of luxury have created a situation where the public facade, which once served as a shield, may now be a spotlight. Every decision becomes more critical, every travel plan or business move potentially significant. The uncertainty is what keeps everyone on edge. How much of this investigation is speculation, and how much could result in tangible consequences? Could the twins face legal action, or will it remain a story of rumors and fear? Even without confirmed charges, the looming threat alone is enough to reshape decisions, relationships, and priorities. It raises the question, is fame worth risking legal and financial ruin, or is the glitter of reality TV worth more than peace of mind and stability? And if the house of cards begins to fall, who will catch it first, the public, the authorities, or the twins themselves? Looking at Darcey and Stacey over the years, certain patterns in their behavior become impossible to ignore. Ambition drives almost everything they do. Every appearance, every surgery, every business announcement is part of a larger push to stay relevant, to be admired, and to secure their place in the public eye. But ambition without caution has a way of creating blind spots, and the twins' decisions often show the tension between desire and consequence. Closely tied to that ambition is an obsession with image. They have invested not only money but also time, energy, and emotional bandwidth into curating perfection. Every photo, every trip, every cosmetic tweak is a signal. Look at us, we're thriving, we're untouchable. But when image becomes the priority, the underlying reality, legal, financial, or emotional, can be overlooked or underestimated. That's where risk starts to creep in. Financial overreach is another recurring theme. The luxurious lifestyle, the constant spending, and the flashy businesses suggest wealth beyond measure. Yet closer inspection reveals inconsistencies, delayed expansions, and mysterious gaps between claims and reality. There's a pattern of presenting success to the public while the mechanics behind it remain murky. It's not unusual in fame-driven ventures, but when federal scrutiny and millions of dollars are involved, the stakes are far higher than Instagram followers or TV ratings. Each of these patterns also hints at the psychological reality of being constantly watched. Living under a microscope magnifies every choice. Small missteps are amplified, and the pressure to maintain control becomes relentless. Behavior that might have seemed harmless or even strategic can quickly evolve into vulnerability. Every trip, every business move, every post can be interpreted in ways the twins might never have imagined. The mini cliffhangers lie in the repetition. Ambition, image obsession, financial overreach. How far will it go before it collides with reality? Each decision carries weight, and the next move could either stabilize or unravel the carefully constructed facade. Fans are left to wonder which moments were purely cosmetic, which were strategic, and which might have serious unseen consequences. What lessons can viewers take from watching fame, money, and image collide? How do ambition and public perception influence choices, and at what point do the costs outweigh the benefits? Looking back over the twins' journey, certain twists start to make sense when you connect the dots. The extravagant purchases, the international trips, the sudden disappearances from social media, they weren't isolated moments. Each action fits into a larger, complex puzzle of ambition, image, and risk. The inconsistencies in business claims we explored earlier start to intersect with behavioral patterns and public appearances, creating a web that's both fascinating and alarming. There's one behavioral twist that stands out. Darcey and Stacey have consistently shown an ability to control perception. They can turn a cosmetic trip into a media event, a delayed product launch into a story of innovation, and a minor mishap into a fan engagement opportunity. That skill has been impressive, but it comes with a hidden cost. Maintaining control over image in a world of scrutiny requires constant vigilance and can hide vulnerabilities that even the twins themselves may not fully anticipate. Financially, past actions and inconsistencies now raise red flags. The lavish lifestyle that once seemed fueled by House of 11 now looks increasingly detached from the business itself. Trips, surgeries, and luxury purchases that aligned with the brand's promotion may have had deeper implications, echoing the speculation about offshore accounts and international transactions. When you combine these moves with the scrutiny from federal investigations, a pattern emerges. The very strategies that amplified fame and wealth may now be contributing to legal and financial stress. Public events also take on new meaning in hindsight. Every televised argument, every social media post, every carefully staged moment now reads differently when you layer in financial pressure and behavioral patterns. The audience once saw humor, drama, or fashion. Today, those moments could be interpreted as strategic moves to protect image or manage perception amid growing scrutiny. It's a reminder that in the world of reality TV, what appears as spontaneous drama can often mask calculated choices. Callbacks to early acts reinforce the stakes. The silence on social media, the missing promotions, the tensions within the family, they're all pieces of this story. What once seemed like minor inconveniences or personal quirks now look like threads in a broader narrative of ambition, risk, and consequence. Each twist compounds the last, escalating both suspense and uncertainty about the twins' future. So the question remains, will Darcey and Stacey recover their image and navigate the fallout, or has the collision between fame, finance, and personal choices created consequences that are impossible to reverse? Looking back at Darcey and Stacey's journey, the story is both dazzling and cautionary. We've seen a life filled with luxury, glamour, and media attention. But beneath the surface, financial inconsistencies, high-stakes ambition, and carefully curated appearances reveal a far more complex reality. Penthouses, Land Rovers, designer wardrobes, and international cosmetic trips were more than symbols of success. They were part of a web of decisions that carried risk, scrutiny, and personal cost. Family dynamics added another layer. Mike Silva's support, while invaluable, also intersected with business decisions and financial pressures, creating tension and moral dilemmas that only insiders fully understand. Every choice, every silence, and every image was part of a high-stakes balancing act between public perception and private reality. The emotional and behavioral patterns we observed, obsession with image, relentless ambition, and the occasional overreach, highlight just how challenging it is to live under constant public scrutiny. The federal investigation, rumored to involve millions in international transactions, adds the final layer of tension. Allegedly, funds were moved in ways that drew attention from authorities, and the consequences could be far-reaching. Fame, as we've seen, offers visibility but not immunity. Can amplify mistakes, hide cracks temporarily, and create pressure that extends to relationships, business, and personal well-being. Practical takeaways emerge if we step back. The story reminds us that public appearances rarely tell the whole story, that ambition must be tempered with caution, and that even the most glamorous lifestyles carry unseen challenges. Observing the twins' journey offers lessons in accountability, risk management, and the human cost of maintaining an image at all costs. As we close this chapter, the major cliffhangers are clear. The twins' legal and financial future remains uncertain, the family dynamics are fragile, and the public perception they've built is under scrutiny. Yet, the story isn't over. Reality TV thrives on twists, reversals, and dramatic revelations. And for fans of the 90-Day Fiancé universe, new drama is always just around the corner. If you think Darcey and Stacey's saga was intense, wait until the next season of 90-Day Fiancé exposes unexpected betrayals, shocking confrontations, and financial missteps that could rival anything we've seen so far. Question now is, which couples will survive the spotlight and who will crumble under the pressure?